Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Jay Lottie, and here on my channel it's going to be very versatile. Sometimes I will do story times, other times I will be doing cleaning or cooking vlogs, or I will just take you along with me for a day in my life. Also, you might see some other things on here that I want to talk about, like things that are going on in the world, maybe gossip. It's just a little bit of everything. But today, we are here for a story time. So, we're going to do a story time of a time when I thought I was with some good friends and it wasn't, and they ended up leaving me in a parking lot in which I had no one to pick me up. So they left me stranded. Okay, so let's get into it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tap that notification bell so that you can get notified whenever I post other things. Okay, so let's start off with the story. So I believe I was like about 12 years old. Um, I was going to school, and a group of friends, we decided that we're going to hang out and go to the skating rink or whatever. So I ended up asking my mom, and she ends up giving me like some money, like $20 or something like that. And we didn't end up going skating for some reason. I can't remember why. But we ended up just running around, and then they were talking about how they were lowering gas. So, me being the friend I am, I have $20, so I ended up putting some of that in there to fill up the gas so that we could have fun basically. And really, I was just friends with two girls there, but the other girls were just there. So like it was kind of like those situations where like you don't really know those people, and it was kind of weird. But they were giving me off vibes from the beginning, but I was so young, like I didn't know how to really like be intuitive and read the room or read the car, as I should say, because we were in the car, and it just didn't go. But anyway, so I've put gas in the car, and we ended up going to Walmart. This is where the story gets sticky. I go in there, and we're just looking around. They didn't really, say what we were going in there for. We just go around there to like, some people hang out at Walmart, which people really don't do that now, I don't think. It's a lot more like stricter, and people, just hanging around and not buying anything. So, um, we go around, and I'm just like following and trying to tag along. As a little girl, I was more like just trying to fit in and just trying to, be a friend. I wasn't really sticking up for myself or like knowing that I was in a messed up situation. So I was just going with them or whatever, and then we split up because I noticed that some of the girls were doing some things like stealing, and or saying they were. So I've had experience with that, for that's for another story time. Um, but basically, I just separated from them because I didn't want to be a part of that. I didn't want to get in trouble. And so, maybe like 5 minutes pass, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go find them because I'm done wandering around in here, basically. And we didn't end up finding, them, like the person that was driving, which was one of my friend's like older sister or something like that. And so I go outside of the Walmart, and they're nowhere to be found. Nowhere. And I'm just like, and I'm not with anybody. I'm by myself at this point because everybody has like wandered off, and I'm just not wanting to get in trouble, so like I'm trying to stay away from them. But what ended up happening is I looked around, and they just left me. Like they completely just left me there, even though I filled up the tank. And this upset me like really bad because I'm like, I trusted you guys as friends. Like, we've been friends for years. So I'm not understanding why. But, I ended up just calling my mom. And my mom was probably more upset than me because I told her what happened. And plus, she gave me the money and she wanted me to have a good time. And they just took it basically and left and just were being completely like scandalous. So she ends up coming to pick me up, and my friend, um, she calls and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Do you want me to come pick you back up?" And I was like, "No." And then from then on, I kind of stayed away from them. Like, some of those girls wasn't even my friends anyway. Like I said, they were just friends of friends. So it wasn't that hard for me to like not talk to them, but it still was just a messed up situation. Nobody got arrested or anything. They just took off. I heard later that they took off because they're about to get caught from stealing, so they had to leave and they just left me in there because I was still wandering around. They didn't want to wait, but still, this is just a lesson. If you are in school still and you're trying to figure out the right crowds to hang out with, just don't. Just, I'm not saying be by yourself, but don't force yourself to be with people who you know are not doing well. If their grades are low and they're not doing well, don't hang around them. If they are bullying people, don't hang around them. So yeah, being in the wrong crowd can make you do some silly stuff. Um, so yeah, just a life lesson on that. I still have contact with a couple of the friends. Unfortunately, two of them have now passed away. Um, and this happened not that long ago, like within the past year or so. And for both of them, I didn't really blame them for it because they weren't the one driving, but um, it just was kind of just a mess up situation. But now that they have passed, it does make me feel some type of way because we were in contact and we were friends, and we always will be. So it just is kind of like that's the downside of the situation. But the principle is, if you have friends and they have other friends, don't let them get you mixed up in that. If you're uncomfortable, separate yourself. And so that's all that I wanted to share today. I hope that this helps some young viewer who's watching me, um, to basically be more mindful of who you pick as friends and to also not go anywhere if you don't have a backup ride or somebody that can pick you up, or you're for sure that your friend is going to take you home. So that's all. If you guys like this story time, please like, comment, and subscribe. And also let me know what else you guys want to see from me. Thanks. Bye.